welcome back to the BetCanada channel. This is part one of a four-part series on the Toronto Maple Leafs, hosted by me, Albert Vartanian, alongside my guy, Kevin Michie of Rogers Sportsnet. Make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the rest of the series where we break down why the Leafs should consider not re-signing Mitch Marner, why they need to prioritize signing Matthew Knies over John Tavares, and how the Leafs actually might be Canada's best shot of breaking the 31-year cup drought where a Canadian team has not won a Stanley Cup. So stay tuned for all that, and let's get into the first video. Kevin Michie of Rogers Sportsnet, thank you for joining me. So I wanted to talk to you today, obviously about the NHL, but specifically the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is a team you've covered for a long time, and you follow very closely. And I seem to think right now that Leaf fans are probably a little nervous and anxious with the playoffs around the corner. The Toronto Maple Leafs have 12 games to go as of recording this until the postseason starts. And as it stands, they would be playing a familiar opponent in the Tampa Bay Lightning, who it feels like they've played them, 10 times in the last 10 postseasons. But it's not so much the opponent, I think, that worries Leaf fans. It's what they're seeing from their team. It's one step forward and two step back. It's, win one of six, lose one of six, win three in a row, and then blow a 2-0 lead to the Predators when you had a chance to vault to the top of the Atlantic Division on a night where the Panthers and the Tampa Bay Lightning both lost. They couldn't capitalize. But you've watched this team all season long. What are you seeing from this team, and how do you feel about them right now?
I'll be honest, I don't. I think I'll mirror a lot of what the fans are feeling. I don't feel super confident in this squadron. Albert, I like to come prepared because I know that you like to be prepared. You're a prepared kind of man. So let me get some stats for you here. Right now, as we're recording this, like you mentioned, 12 games to go, 87 points, right near the top of the standings, very close. 2024, 89 points. Florida and Boston both had 97, so they weren't getting first in the Atlantic. 2023, they had 95 points. Very good pace, but that was the year that Boston broke every single regular season record that you could possibly imagine. 2022, 85 points. They were tied for second. The Panthers won the President's Trophy that year. 2021, they were leading the North Division. Does that count? I don't know. 2020, as of when COVID stopped, they had 81 points. They were third at shutdown. 2019, 94 points, third in the division. So the big difference here is the fact that they're not as good as they seem from previous seasons, yet they can't capitalize on their opponents being worse. They have an opportunity to win the Atlantic Division, and I think this is where a lot of trepidation comes in for Toronto Maple Leaf fans. The opportunity right there for the, where is it? Right there for the taking. And it just doesn't seem like the team is able to capitalize on it. And I think that is where a lot of collar pulling comes in for Leaf fans. And that's what's making them not feel good about this, because you can finally capitalize on something that has not really been attainable for the last several seasons when you're playing in the Atlantic Division. And that is a division crown. That is guaranteed home ice in the first round, likely into the second round as well. So go out and get it. But it doesn't seem like they want it. And I think that's what a lot of Leaf fans are feeling right now.
Yeah, and it's just hard to believe that, they've never won an Atlantic Division ever. And they're considered to be, over the past, 9-8 seasons, one of the best regular season teams in the NHL. We know under Keefe, they were unbelievable, but they can never get over the top. And I want to know where you sit on how the importance of winning the Atlantic Division. You kind of mentioned it there, but the way I look at it is in this Matthews era, Matthews, Marner, and Nylander, Tavares, they've never won anything outside of one round. So why not go and win that division and see what that boost of confidence will do for you in the first round? And obviously you avoid Tampa Bay and Florida, and probably end up with Ottawa. I think Leaf fans would be scared about that because that'll be a tough matchup. It doesn't really matter who they play in the first round. There's going to be that anxiety because of what they've done in recent history. But I just feel like winning a division and having something that they've attained, that they've accomplished and conquered, can only help them in the playoffs because that's something that they haven't had before.
Leaf fans should not feel worried about playing the Ottawa Senators. 0-3 this season. What have they lost? 5 straight against them. You should not feel scared about playing the Ottawa Senators. What Leaf fans should feel scared about is the demons that lurk inside of every single Toronto Maple Leaf who has been part of that core 4, core 5, if you want to add Riley to it, era, that have seen the ghosts of Bruins and Lightning and Panthers past. They don't want to have to deal with that kind of shit. What you want to have to deal with is the Ottawa Senators, because that is a team that has underachieved for years and years and years and years. So then it would be underachievers meeting underachievers, and you would think that the Toronto Maple Leafs are the better of those two underachievers. In fact, they've shown that they are the more veteran group of those underachievers, that they could do more with that opportunity. So winning the Atlantic Division is paramount for this team. Number one, so that the team doesn't have to think about the fact that they're playing Boston or they're playing Tampa Bay or they're playing Florida. They're not playing Boston, obviously. But those three core teams that have caused them problems for the last 8-ish years, you can look at somebody else finally in the first round. You know that you have home ice advantage. You know that your best players are far better than their best players with respect to people like Brady Tkachuk, Tim Stützle, Thomas Chabot, etc. That's the matchup that you want, Albert. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, and maybe not Columbus or Montreal, right? We've seen that, how that plays out. If you enjoyed that video, check out this next one where we get into why the Leafs should consider not re-signing Mitch Marner.